I'm joined by the legendary Swifty McVay from D12. Thanks for joining me, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So, hey, let's jump straight into it. So, back in the early 90s, you was part of, you grew up in, was it Detroit?
Yes, sir.
What was it like growing up in Detroit?
Woo, Detroit, man. Detroit is rough, rugged, and raw. You know what I'm saying? A lot of rough, rugged, and raw. A lot of beautiful places too. You know, but they have a lot of rough, rugged, and raw places as well, man. You know, it wasn't no heavy gangs and nothing like that. Everybody repped they avenue. You know,
Sure.
hip hop was thriving back then. You know, real strong, and you just really had to be on your P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to make it out there, you know, ain't nobody take no shit from nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them type of places. I know every hood got that type of place, but Detroit was definitely one of them places where you gotta be on your P's and Q's if you know you want to stay above. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Sure. Back in, how did you get into hip hop?
Shoot, man, I've been in the hip hop basically all my life. I could say the age of 6 years old, 7 years old, I wanted to rap, and that's all I ever wanted to do. I didn't have no plan B, no plan C, no nothing. It was just, you know, hip hop. Just the love of hip hop was in me ever since I wanted to rap at the age of 6 years old, and that's all I ever wanted to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to get into hip hop? Was it any certain artist or?
Yeah. I remember when I was young, you know, I used to hear, you know, rappers here and there, you know, Rappers Delight on the radio, and I always kind of try to dibble dabble with it, man. But I think it was Run DMC who actually really made me want to do it and make money off of it and say, yo, I want to turn this into a career. You know what I'm saying? I was young. I had seen the video at my grandmother's house one day. And when I seen, you know, I didn't know who it was. When I seen them with the dive hats, it was Rockbox video. When I seen them with the dive hats and the leather jackets walking, trying to get into that museum. And they were in the old Caucasian dude wouldn't let them in the museum, and they start rapping. And then when Run said that one line, he was like, Calvin Klein, no friend of mine, don't want nobody's name on my behind. And when he said that, everything resonated. The metaphor resonated with me. I was like, damn, you know, my sisters wear Calvin Kleins. I said, that shit was dope. So that made me want to start writing witty rhymes and his swag and everything. You know, I was attracted to the whole swag. So I think Run DMC is what made me want to take things to that next level.
Sure. What a group Run DMC was.
Man, they was icons, man. I mean, a lot of people don't know they was the first to do a lot of stuff. The first rappers on MTV, the first rappers to get an endorsement deal.
Sure.
I'm talking about, yeah, they was the first hip hop group to get a clothing an endorsement deal by Adidas. I mean, you know, they broke barriers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Now I've heard a lot of stuff about the hip hop shop in Detroit. Can you tell me about the hip hop shop?
The legendary hip hop shop. Yo, hold on, before I go there, there's a lot of people saying what up though. Let me see. Cova One Inco. I hope I ain't saying your name wrong, but I want to salute everybody that's on here. You know, I just want to go ahead and show love to everybody. The Beto, you know, Markosh 999, you know, Kurt. I appreciate the love. But yeah, the hip hop shop, man. The hip hop shop was a clothing store created by a dude named Maurice Malone.
Okay.
Maurice Malone created this shop, man, and what he had was you sold clothes all through the week, and then on Saturdays he had open mic. And he had open mic from 3 to 6. So all the rappers from all four corners of Detroit used to come to this open mic to rap, you know, and that's pretty much where D12 got started. You know what I'm saying? You know, Proof lived a few houses. His grandmother lived a few houses down from me, but his mother stayed a few blocks down from conniving con artists. So he would, you know, bounce back and forth. And he introduced me to the hip hop shop one day, and this had to be like 9/3. And you know, I came up there every weekend, man. And the hip hop shop was where everybody went to show their skills. It wasn't nothing like it. Hip hop shop was so legendary to where even after it was over with, rappers used to rap outside of the hip hop shop and have ciphers. and they used to sit in their cars and listen to beat tapes and stuff, and the police never broke it up. The police never told anybody to go home or whatever. And as rough and rugged as that Avenue 7 Mile was, the police understood and knew that it was authors and producers, you know, trying to shine. And for 5 years, they ain't never break it up and tell anybody to go home. And it was only one fight out of 5 or 6 years in Detroit, only one fight in a hip hop shop. So that's how special it was. So people took the bus to go to the hip hop shop. People used to try to make excuses to leave work. People used to come to the hip hop shop in their work clothes to rap. You know, it was just that special. And if you came up there and you had to battle or somebody inspired you, you knew you had a place to go every week that would get you out of trouble, because people looked forward to going to the hip hop shop. So it was a really special thing, man. And if it wasn't for the hip hop shop, I don't think my skills would be on the level that it is now, because it gave us an opportunity to sharpen your skills, you know what I'm saying, and to shine and get recognized in the city of Detroit. So big up to all my hip hop shop alumni, you know, who used to come to the hip hop shop and do the thing with us. What up, though, everybody on here? I appreciate y'all.
Most definitely, most definitely. Can you tell us how how it expanded from the hip hop shop? How D12 expanded into the music?
Here's the thing, like, you know, being in the hip hop shop, you had your elite MCs. You had MCs that was okay. Then you had the MCs in there that was super, super dope. So every Saturday, you know, you would recognize who the elite MCs was, and, you know, especially through battling and whatnot. So I was already a part of a group called Rabies. Big shout out to Mr. Wrong. Mr. Wrong and I was the Rabies crew, started in the late 80s, you know, and I was already doing my thing. So one day at the Clear Blue Sky, Proof, you know, rest in peace to Proof, he whispered in all the elite MCs' ears and was like, yo, I'm putting together a group called D12, an all-star group. If you want to be in it, you can be in it. And his idea was like, yo, you got the Wu-Tang Clan that came out and was just smashing back then. So I think the Wu-Tang Clan kind of inspired Proof to come up with this idea, you know. So he whispered in everybody's ear, was like, yo, I want to put together a group called D12 with all the elite MCs in the shop. If you want to be in it, you can be in it. He whispered this in my ear in the middle of me watching somebody rap. So at that time, I thought it was a good idea, but I was already with a crew at the time, you know. So I literally watched the formation of D12 right before my eyes. You see what I'm saying? So we were already, me and my crew were already signed doing our thing. D12 was literally 12 members, you know, was literally 12 members trying to do the Wu-Tang Clan thing. And me, you know, I just befriended everybody. I would get invited to shows or studio sessions and whatnot. And plus being in a hip hop shop every Saturday for years, you ain't got no choice but to build some kind of camaraderie with everybody, because this is where everybody went every week. So, you know, you built this kind of camaraderie, whatnot. So, you know, D12 formed. And so I was real cool with Bugs. Me and Bugs, rest in peace to Bugs. We developed a dope friendship, man. And, you know, we kind of did things outside of the hip hop shop. Like they would invite me to open mics, and I go to open mics, and we just all have a good time. So the energy and the camaraderie with me and D12 was already there. We were already cool. We already had a relationship before I got deep into the group. So before Bugs passed, you know, he found out that I went solo. Me and my group disbanded. The Rabies group, we disbanded, and this was my first time walking around as a solo artist, because I had a rap partner pretty much my whole life, you know what I'm saying? Like I was solo as a kid, but when I got into my teenage life, I became a rap partner. So when we disbanded, he found out and was like, yo, I think it'd be a good idea if Swifty joined the group. And the rest was history. And you know, he got murdered shortly after that.
Sure. My condolences. Honestly, my condolences.
Bugs, man, let me tell you, Bugs was super funny. Super funny. I'm talking about sense of humor. Not only was he, you know, a lyrical genius on the mic, he ain't take no shit from nobody. He was one of them type of dudes who didn't bite his tongue. He was fearless. He didn't have no fear at all. He didn't go around starting shit. But when it was time to get busy or something came, he was the one who never backed down. He was the one who never bit his tongue. He showed no fear, you know, and Bugs was the type of person to where you felt safe when Bugs was around, because you knew he wasn't gonna run on you. You knew he wasn't gonna back down from anything. And despite being a super funny dude, you know what I'm saying? He could be very obnoxious at times, but you know, people loved him because he had a good heart. You know what I'm saying? So I remember when I went solo, me and him was like, yo, you know, let's go ahead and do a song together. And one of my friends, I call him one of my hip hop alumni, Pete Groove from the Inner Circle. Big shout out to him. He had a studio over in Highland Park, you know, a city within Detroit. Was like, yo, I want y'all to come through. Me and Buzz came through, did a song together, and he got murdered 2 weeks later. And what's so crazy about it is him and Bizarre was going. Well, no, he had asked me and Bizarre to come with him that day on this island. Detroit has this island called Belle Isle, and it's so crazy I wasn't able to come with him that day. And I was supposed to go with him. He had asked me to come with him to this island where everybody was hanging out doing their thing, and I wasn't able to come that day. And that was the day he got murdered. So it's real deep, you know. So yeah, shit's crazy. But Bug, condolences to condolences. But yeah, but Bugs, rest in peace, man. You know, if it wasn't for Bugs, you know, I wouldn't be in this D12 seat. And a lot of people think that I replaced Bugs, but I never replaced Bugs. If he was still alive to this day, he would have been right there with us. So Bug, I was never a replacement to all those who used to say that I replaced Bugs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Sure. That was that 1999, was it?
Yep. He got murdered in 1999. I ended up, you know, I got officially inside of the 12 group, maybe like 98, something like that. 97. The Rabies crew disbanded in 97.
Sure.
Around that time, 98. You know, 99, somewhere around there. I can't remember exactly, but somewhere around there. Yeah, but Bugs passed in 99.
Wow. Rest in peace to.
Thank you.
Sure. So at this point, another member of D12, Eminem, was pretty much one of the biggest artists on the planet at that point, I think, well, emerging artist on the planet. How did that affect the dynamic of the group?
That was crazy. You know, I remember when I first saw How My Name Is, you know, he went out there for a hip hop battle, and he literally was like, yo, you know, we gonna make a pact. The first one who gets signed, go come back and get everybody else. So that was the mind frame we had. You know, even though I was in D12, I was still doing solo songs, still trying to get on, still trying to do my thing as an artist. And we all made a pact. The first one who gets signed first will come back and get everybody else. So he went out there for a hip hop battle and was like, yo, if I don't make it this time, I'm not rapping no more. I'm gonna go ahead and hang it up. He literally said that. And then he went out there to California and never came back. He came back, but he went out there for good and met Dre and everything happened. So you know, me not understanding the game, me not understanding how things went, you know, with the industry, whatever. Me knowing that he was in good hands was enough for me. It was enough for us to know, like, yo, he is in good hands, and it gave us a sense of hope. We didn't walk around here arrogant, but we walked around with a sense of proudness and happiness, like, yo, this is really, really going down. And then when I seen How My Name video, I said, yo, this is it. Now, the thing is, we still had to pay our dues. We still had to come correct. We still went to the studio and made demos and let them listen to it. And, you know, it was like, yo, until we found the right one that made him say, yo, these guys are dope. Because with him being a part of Dr. Dre camp, yeah, he was going to come back and get us, but he didn't want us making no bullshit either. So he had to make sure, if I'm going to go ahead and put you on, after what I experienced, after what he experienced with Dre, he said in his mind, yo, I got to make sure that these guys are polished. Because now I done seen things over here in California in a whole new light. I just got to make sure when I come back and get these guys that these guys are really, really polished and focused and not just, you know, just doing it just to do it. So we paid our dues. We went to the studio. You know, we used to sleep on the floor out there in New Jersey in Proof's apartment. We took like 3 buses and 4 subways to New York City to do demos. Like, we really, really paid our dues, saying to ourselves, yo, now when he hear this is gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? So we really had that mind frame that we had to show and prove. And it wasn't just like he came and got us. We really had to pay our dues. So he heard our demo one day doing a show with, on the outskirts of Detroit at this place, Pontiac, Michigan. And when he heard that demo in there, he knew we was ready. And what he did was he said, yo, I'm not going to go ahead and give you to the label, because if y'all wait for the label to put y'all out, y'all might wait like 3 or 4 or 5 years. So what I'm going to do is start my own label and put y'all out on my own label so y'all can come out faster. So we literally, Shady Records was built for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story. That's some crazy story. And you're part of history. That's part of like the history of hip hop. You know, you're a legendary group, D12. I mean, you know, when you think about these legendary groups, you think you know the Wu-Tang Clan, Run DMCs, Outlaws, yourselves, D12, you know, and that's crazy part of history.
Man.
To you guys.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of people don't know, like, we paid our dues. What's so crazy is when the Rabies got signed, we got signed under a label called Robbins Entertainment. And a lot of people don't know, with Robbins Entertainment, Corey Robbins was the same dude who signed Run DMC. So everything came through full circle. Yep.
Sure. That's an amazing story, that is. So what was it like recording with Eminem? I know you guys go back, you know, to the early 90s, but, you know, on a professional level.
I realized how much, you know, of a perfectionist he was. I mean, you know, we was recording with him, and he took this, it's almost like Dr. Dre harnessed all his powers and ability and put it inside M. And M took all his powers and ability with Dre's and put it inside us. You see what I'm saying? So it was just a whole new way of perfection. Like, you know, he would play music and we would listen to the beat and say, yo, this beat sound dope. But he would say, nah, there's something wrong with it. And that's the same thing Dre does. So he has the same ear that Dr. Dre has. So just that perfectionist spirit that he, you know, instilled in us, man. And with me having chemistry with the fellas already, with that perfectionist spirit, it didn't seem like it was a big dramatic change, because it was so fun recording with everybody. But at the same time, he used to hear things that we couldn't hear, because, you know, I guess he had that Dr. Dre ear, and it was until we met Dr. Dre that we totally understood where he was coming from. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you know, Dre would scrap beats and I would be looking like, why the fuck did you do that? You know what I'm saying? And M would hear something in the track and say, I don't really like it. I'd be like, you crazy. This shit is crazy dope. So he just developed the ear from Dre and passed it down to us. Perfectionists don't like to mess with anything else until this one is perfected, done.
Sure.
Don't want anything else to crowd his mind. So I think that was a dope quality he picked up, and that's why he's where he's at right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, you've probably seen it. At the moment, it dominated hip hop is Eminem and Snoop. It'd be interesting to get your thoughts on what's actually going on.
You know what? To be honest, what I think, I'm gonna prophesize it, man. I just think as soon as they get into a room and talk, they go talk about it and they go squash it. That's what I think. I mean, I don't think it's super deep. I mean, I feel where Em is coming from when I heard the interview. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for them being on the same camp in the same team, you know, his opinion is his opinion, which is super cool. But when he said that I can live without this, it would just kind of make you question, what does that mean? Do you mean that, you know, you really don't fuck with his music like that? You see what I'm saying? It kind of, you know, rose a little eyebrow. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to Snoop. It might mean something totally different than my perception of it. But when I heard it, when you on the same team as somebody, you don't give no question mark of you don't make anybody feel like they have to question if you fuck with him or not. And it just kind of made me feel like, damn, Snoop, do you really fuck with his music like that or not? And if you're on the same team, you wouldn't let the crowd walk off with that type of thought. You know, that's just in my opinion. I think they're both icons, both dope in their own right. You know, I used to play Snoop Dogg tape so much. When it broke, I went to buy a new one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just believe they're gonna get in the room, they go talk about it, and they go squash it. That's my prediction.
Let's hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the whole hip hop community hopes so too. I mean, like you said, legend, you know. So
it ain't no beef. It ain't no beef like that. It ain't nothing where they go scrap and you know, fuck you and your family, fuck you. It's just, you know, they go talk about it in my eyes. So let's continue to put that energy out there and see what happens.
Daz
This
said it.
I'm gonna call it a misunderstanding. You know, when you say beef, that's in my eyes, when you say beef, that's like, yo, when I see you, I'm getting at you. That's what beef really is. So I don't think it's beef at all. I just think it's a misunderstanding. Like, you know, they in the same camp, and for whatever reason, Snoop said it the way he said it. I truly believe that he's gonna have an explanation for it. You know what I'm saying? I think when they both talk to each other, they respect each other as men, and they respect each other as MCs. That it's not gonna go off into any other thing deeper than what it really is, because it's not nothing deeper, as far as I know. Now, you know, somebody might tell me like, yo, you know, this, that, and the third. Like I heard a podcast the other day that Dash quote said
I think that's the one I was going to bring up. That one, was it the Clubhouse?
That he turned down being on a feature with him. I don't know how true that is, you know. But then again, if that's the truth, I think that they're going to get in the room, and if he did do it, he's going to tell them why. And he's going to say, oh, okay, because they have so much respect for each other, it ain't no beef. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to them, and I hope they get it together.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So moving on, I mean, you was part of probably one of the biggest hip hop concerts, hip hop tours that we've ever seen, the Up in Smoke tour. Can you tell us about? Tell us about that.
The Up in Smoke tour. Oh my gosh, dog. Let me tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you hands down. Not only was the Up in Smoke tour the first tour that we ever been on in our life as a group and as a person, that was the most livest tour that I ever been on in my life. And I'm not saying this because it was the first, but the experience that I had on that tour was just unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody was cool. Everybody, you know, it was like being in a camp with family. Everybody welcomed us with open arms. You know, we didn't have no bad blood, no bad energy. The camaraderie between that whole camp and our camp was just dope, man. And that show, Dr. Dre's show, was unbelievable. Like, watching it on DVD didn't do it no justice. And I'm gonna tell you something, how dope Dr. Dre's show was. Dr. Dre's show was so dope to where every night, no matter what we was doing backstage, when it was time for him to get on stage, everybody said, yo, Dre on. We had to run to the front to watch the show. Every night we did that. It was, you know, you would think that we never seen the show before, but night after night after night, it gave us that same energy that we stopped what we was doing, ran out the dressing room to go to the front to watch the show. It was just that dope. You know what I'm saying? We had the time of our life. Although it was 13 of us in a 16 passenger van, you know, following M's tour bus at the time, you know, we had to pay our dues. And I know, you know, I tell a lot of people, when you get on, it's 2 dues you have to pay. The first dues is the dues you pay in the hood when you're trying to get on and do your thing. The second dues you pay is when you actually get signed. You have to pay those type of dues too. So yeah, we was in a 16 passenger van driving behind the bus, following M everywhere, but we had the time of our life. You know, we laughed every day. Wasn't never a dull moment. And the shows was just super dope. And, you know, we learned a lot being on that tour, man. So big up to Dr. Dre, big up to the whole camp that was a part of that tour. And I just want to say thank you for everybody who dropped jewels on us the way they dropped those jewels on us. And thank you most definitely for Marshall for even, you know, opening in that door for us, man. So it was just an unbelievable experience, you know.
Absolutely. I own that DVD, and it gives me chills. Every time I put it on, it gives me chills. You know, awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Do you think that something like that would ever happen again in hip hop? Right, take it on the road, you know, the biggest artist on the road for,
you know, I think so. I think it's a lot of dope artists out here, man, that has the weight to put something like that together. But that Death Row sound, it was just something about that Death Row sound that is unmatched. You see what I'm saying? So Death Row back then was just so huge, and that sound that they gave the world was so unmatched, man. I mean, it would have to be a clique that has the same intensity as what the Death Row Camp did in order for it to be that special bam. You know what I'm saying? And I never seen a tour, after that, in my eyes, that was as special as that Up in Smoke tour. Now it might have been to some other artists, going on tour with other big artists, but as far as my experience, I never seen anything as special as that Up in Smoke. It was just the shit. Yeah.
Most definitely. I mean, 2001, you released Devil's Night. I think it went was it number one in US and Canada?
Wait, you said we released Devil's Night. Say it again.
You released Devil's Night in 2001. Was you? Yeah. I think it went to number one in US and Canada.
You said number one?
I think it was number one. I think it was number one.
Yeah, big up Devil's Night, man. That was our baby. One thing about Devil's Night album that a lot of people might not know that was real special, that every song we did on that album, we started from a drum to keys, and we built tracks from the ground up. Every song was built from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we built the house with each one of our songs. So that's why that album was so special, because, I would come into the studio and hear Mr. Porter and Marshall working on something, and all you would hear is snares like cat, cat, cat. And then at the end of the session, you hearing this monster of a song. And this happened on every last one of our songs. And that's what made it so special with Devil's Night. You know what I'm saying? And then, with Devil's Night being a pre-holiday to a holiday, the day before Halloween is when, people cause all type of crazy mischief in Detroit the day before Halloween,
I read about it,
yeah. So we paid homage to that by calling the album Devil's Night. Yeah. Sure.
What's your favorite tracks off Devil's Night?
One of my favorite tracks on Devil's Night, man, one of them has to be American Psycho.
Yeah.
The first American Psycho is one of my favorite tracks on there. And I think that's how People Get Fucked Up is one of my favorite tracks too, because it showed the camaraderie between the whole group, and it was just fun being in the studio bouncing off, when you listen to it, man, and how much laughter we had listening to that song. And one thing about us, when we in the studio, when we writing our verses, we don't sit there with our paper and try to whisper our verses in each other's ear before we go in the booth. We don't do that. I don't know why, but it's just something that we never do. And not knocking anybody to do it. Every time somebody was finished, we just went in the booth and we did our thing, and it caught the element of surprise caught us when you went in the booth. So when you hear songs like That's How, whatever, we were able to capture the moment by surprise, and we would be shocked and laughing and this, that, and the third. So that's one thing that made the group special, man. I mean, our chemistry was dope, but when you hear That's How, listening to the verses come about for the first time while you in the booth, sometimes we couldn't even, hold our laugh in. We'll bust out laughing, at somebody's verse or whatever, and then we had to, pull it back. But those two songs would be maybe two of my favorite songs on there. It's like asking somebody who your favorite kid is.
Yeah.
But if I had to name a couple, and M's wordplay on American Psycho was just insane. Like every time I heard it, it was like listening to that verse for the first time. So yeah.
Sure. One of the big songs over here from that album was Purple Pills.
Okay.
It was a soundtrack to my youth.
That was a fun song too. Super fun song to do, man. Yeah.
Definitely. It brings me back to my school. Every time I heard Purple Pills, it brings me back to my school day.
Yes, it's a feel good song. Even though we was talking about popping pills and shit like that, you can't help but to feel good when you hear that first horn. When that come on, you just got to get up and be like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So big shout out to everybody who was a part of making that album, to the engineers, and we had fun doing that album, building every song from the ground up.
Sure. Fast forward to 2004, you released D12 World. What was it? Was
Yeah.
the recording process a bit different from Devil's Night?
Yeah, it was a little different from Devil's Night. See, one thing about D12 World, you know how I said we built every song from the ground up on Devil's Night.
Mm-hmm.
D12 World was that album to where we explored with different producers. So instead of building songs from the ground up, we got different producers to fuck with it. So they would give us beats already made. So that was the difference between D12 World and Devil's Night. We would get beat CDs from different producers. We'll pick beats, and if we like the beats, we'll go on there and and do our thing to them. And the recording process was a little faster. We found our mojo. Our chemistry, and we was in our zone. So the recording process was a little bit faster because we didn't have to do beats from the ground up. We got beats already made and structured. Went in there, did our thing. We pretty much knew our places of who was gonna create the first part of the energy first, who was gonna end last. We knew who didn't sound good going first, who didn't sound good going last. So the chemistry we knew from working on the first album exactly our position, which made D12 Road a little bit more faster, but the process was still fun. We came in there and did our thing. You know what I'm saying? And it was just working with Kanye West. Big shout out to Kanye West, and a few other producers on there. And it was just a little bit more of a faster process, but still fun because it was never a dull moment recording with the fellas on both albums. So big shout out to everybody who was a part of D12 World and all that good shit, man. What up to everybody who just logged in on here too? I salute all y'all from checking this out. I salute everybody.
Big shout out to everybody on the live.
And somebody said, rap my verse off of Instigator. I don't even remember that shit. I remember it when I hear it, though.
I'll just go and find it. I'll pop it on for you. No, so fast forward 2 years, in 2006, you lose yet another member of D12, Big Proof. How did you take that loss?
Shoot, man, we still got scabs on our heart to this day from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was very, very devastating, man. I mean, one of the most darkest times of my life. Mm-hmm. I had a real dark moment with Bugs. Proof was the one who came to my house and told me Bugs died. He was the one who broke that news to me. You know what I'm saying? So when Proof died, one of my homeboys told me, and my whole spirit just went dark from there, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the chemistry was off balance. You know what I'm saying? The chemistry was off. Everybody just kind of fell into this dark ass place, and rightfully so. You see what I'm saying? And it was one of the darkest moments of my life. So I still got a scab to this day. I mean, thank God Proof was this live bolt of energy to where if I could hear his voice right now, he'd be like, man, cheer up, and that type of stuff. He was just that type of person. But at the end of the day, you human, you know what I'm saying? And I still may daydream and fall into this funk, and I might shed tears every now and then, every once in a while, you know what I'm saying? Because, that was the brother right there, and it was like losing a blood brother, you know what I'm saying? So all I do is just kind of take all the jewels he dropped and the energy that I can never match his energy, but I know when it's time to be strong, and when it's time to tackle these songs, and when it's time to focus on certain elements out here in the name of hip hop or whatever. I always listen to his voice in the back of my mind on how he would have handled it, and that would help strengthen me throughout my day whenever I'm in a funk or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to Big Proof.
Definitely. Rest in peace. So, I mean, he did a lot of, I read a lot of things about, he did a lot of things behind the scenes to promote D12 in the early days.
Yeah, Proof was on a whole nother level of thinking, man. I mean, we would be on the tour bus or whatever, and he would make it his business to send postcards to everybody he knew, and didn't want no recognition or say, yeah, I did this or did that. So he would give you the shoes off his feet, literally, and walk home in his socks. That's the type of dude he was. You know what I'm saying? So, he just had this heart of giving, and a heart of love, and a heart of making everybody smile, man. I mean, and he did it by default.
Mm-hmm.
He did it by default. It's not like he woke up and was just like, yo, I'm gonna walk in here and I'm gonna do my best to make you smile. When he walked in, this is just what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And he carried this energy with him everywhere he went. He was just like a light, and he never wanted to sleep. And then when it was time for him to go to sleep, he'll just crash on the floor somewhere.
Wow.
Literally, like he'll crash on the floor somewhere. Like he'll be going for like 2 or 3 or 4 days without sleeping. And then when it was time for him to sleep, we'll be at the airport or whatever. He'll come in and you'll see him on the floor by the wall like this, sleep for a few minutes, get a little bulk of energy back, and he back at it like a crack addict. You know what I'm saying? So Proof just was a special type of dude. He was really special. Yeah, he hung with the gangster rappers. He knew how to adapt with the gangster rappers. He knew how to adapt with the backpacker rappers, the conscious rappers, the Black Power rappers. I'm talking about he adapted and bridged the gap to all these different lanes to where he was respected on all different levels because of his spirit and his personality was just so huge. You know what I'm saying? And he was just that type of person. Yeah.
It was genuine loss to hip hop, genuine loss to society. You know, really, really good dude. Rest in peace to Big Proof anyway.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. So fast forward to kind of present day. You've released a lot of mixtapes, and you've released was it with Conniver, My Brother's Keeper?
Yeah, My Brother's Keeper. Big shout out to Conniver.
Sure. What was the recording process between you guys going back in the day to going to present day?
Man, me and Conniver's chemistry is so strong. I mean, of course. I mean, from us recording back in the days to now, we know exactly what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, we bounce off each other so well. You know what I'm saying? He give me a verse and I piggyback off of him. Whatever his flow pattern or whatever he talk about, I piggyback off of him and do the same. And it's just something that we just do easy. It's not nothing hard. It's nothing that we have to try. It's effortless. It's an effortless type of energy we give each other when it's time to do songs or whatnot. And we, as far as this project is concerned, we started on it. We brought the single out, Gate Open, years ago. And there's a lot of things that took place. I did a movie, and I did a movie soundtrack called Devil's Night, Dawn of the Nan Rouge. So for those of y'all that got Amazon Prime, go check your boy out on Devil's Night, Dawn of the Nan Rouge. I'm starring in the movie, and I'm also a part of the whole entire soundtrack. You can get the soundtrack. You can stream it on all the digital sites or whatnot. So I had to work on that and make sure everything was good on that end. And, he was working on his solo projects and stuff. So we kind of put things to a halt. But then we got back together and things gelled and we finished the whole project and like clockwork. You know what I'm saying? And we on our way to doing another one this year too. So working with Conniver is pretty easy, man. I mean, that's my bro, man. I mean, the experience we have in this game is just so crazy on a good way to where we don't even have to try in order to put something together because we know what we want and how we work. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Sure. One of my favourite tracks off that album was it My Way?
One of my favorite tracks would probably be My Why. Heartbroken is one of my favorite tracks too. And I Would Not Lose. I got 3. Even though it's a short EP, I think them songs kind of stand out. But you know what? That Shut Up Bitch is kind of pumped too now. I be in my car like this. When that shit come on. So I think Shut Up Bitch might trump everything, man. I don't know. It's just kind of hard. It's hard.
Proper hype.
Yeah.
Your latest album, Detroit Life, how did that come about? Tell me about that.
Detroit Life. I teamed up with my brother Chris Reynolds, man. Chris Reynolds is the founder of Detroit Life Clothing. I even got one of the shirts on right here, man. I've been representing the clothing line for years, man, and we came together and was like, yo, let's go ahead and do a collaboration, man, to put something together for the people. So I told him, I said, yo, we're going to go ahead and put some clothing line out, some Swifty McVay Detroit Life clothing line out, which is what we did. And I told him, I said, Joe, the best way to me, I feel, to tap into the to the consumer's ears is by bringing out some music, bringing them into our Detroit life for real. So not only did we collab to bring out some clothing for y'all, I wanted to go ahead and bring people into the realm of Detroit life and bring them into my essence of a real Detroit life. So that's why on this album, I have nothing but Detroit artists featured on there. You know, the tone, the flavor is all Detroit based. You know what I'm saying? And the only people that's not from Detroit on there is my brothers from another mother, 80 Empire. 80 Empire from Canada, Toronto, Canada, which is like right next door. Canada is 30 minutes away from me. And they came through and blessed the album. We also got an album together called 80 Empire that I brought out in the summertime, but they blessed the Detroit Life album. So I just wanted people to get a whiff of the Detroit essence from bringing out this clothing line, man, so they can know that not only are you wearing Detroit life, living that Detroit life through the clothes, you can also hear something to really feel that essence of my background and where I came from and the people that's decided to team up with me from Detroit, so you can get that flavor. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So where can we find the Detroit Life gear?
You can actually go to Detroit Life Gear, DetroitLifeGear.com. You know, you can get the gear from there. You can get the CD the autographed hard copy from DetroitLifeGear.com, and you can get my previous projects from Swifty McVay D12.com as well.
Okay. So you mentioned you're doing another album this year with Conniver. Can you expand on that?
Yeah. You know, we ain't got no title right now, but the latest album that I got before me and Conniver is an album I got coming out this winter. It's called Gray Rose. And it's me teaming up with 80 Empire again. I was just talking about 80 Empire is my brothers from another mother, talented brothers, man. That's just, you know, one sings and is a lyricist, the other is a super producer. Me and them two came together for this dynamic album called Gray Rose. The album is done. Is just in the process of getting things tweaked right now, and we will be bringing that out. And as far as me and Conniver, we definitely go come together this year. We don't have any title or nothing, but we did tell each other when this year kick in that we was going to go ahead and give our fans another album. So just watch out for that, because that will be in the work.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're whetting our appetite, Swifty. So there's a fan question here. We've got from Daniel Garami, if I've said his name right. So how did you all make Haley's Revenge?
Haley's Revenge, man. Shit. All I know is Marshall he dissed Marshall, and it was rest is history. It's like, yo, you diss one of my peoples, and we coming at you. So it wasn't even no hard thought process, man. We just got into the studio and was like, yo, he talking about something. He was gonna smack Haley, my little niece. You can't go around talking about you go smack Niecy Pooh. You know what I'm saying? And we just got into the studio and do what we do. You know what I'm saying? And it is effortless, man. We come from a place of battle rap, man. Battle rap was in a hip hop shop, so we're no strangers to when it's time to get on wax and do the battling, man. I mean, we did that first, so that's like second nature to us. So whenever an MC out there want to bring it, we got something for that ass.
You got heat.
we write concept songs all day, but we always equipped to want to strike back or whatever. So that's what that Haley's Revenge was all about. Was just, you know, teaming up to come together to get somebody who was trying to come at our man. So that's how it was.
Definitely. So was you due to go on tour with Obi Trice last year? You did to go on? Was it the Snoop Dogg tour? Yeah. We were supposed to tour with Snoop Dogg last year. I think it was April. We were supposed to go out with April. You know, but because of everything that was going on, they had to postpone it, man. So I think they postponed it until September of this year. So we coming on out there with y'all, man. We'll be out there in Europe in September, if it's the Lord's will. Yeah. I actually bought a ticket for Manchester for that concert. Oh wow! So fingers crossed. I'll be at the front of Manchester. yeah. Fingers crossed, man. I stay real optimistic. They canceled it from first. It was April. Then it was supposed to be in February of this year, and then they moved it up to September, man. So, you know, with the vaccine and everything going on or whatever, man, I just hope that they find a way
for people to come and congregate to where they can listen to some good music while we on stage, man. I mean, you know, there's a lot of artists out here, man. It's just can't wait to get back on that stage, and I'm one of them. So we'll see. Yeah.
What's your personal opinion about the whole COVID situation, real quick?
It's real.
From an artist perspective.
I just want to tell everybody out there, man, that the COVID is really, really real. Don't take it for granted. I know there's a lot of people out here who don't think it's real because it hasn't hit home. I had family members who caught it and lived. I knew people who died. I had friends who caught it and lived. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, to me, it's definitely one of those things to where, depending on where you at in your health and your immune system, you have a chance of fighting it. So if you're not the type of person who take vitamins and, you know, and work out and drink water and drink, you got to go ahead and fill your body with all these healthy elements to boost your immune system, because, you know, for the people who don't have a good immune system are the ones who get hit the hardest. And I've seen this firsthand from my experience. You know what I'm saying? I stay indoors. I stay cautious and vigilant as possible, and I don't take it for granted at all. I wear my mask when I go into places. You know what I'm saying? I social distance to the best of my ability. I take all that shit serious, man. And I mean, who knows? I might even take the vaccine. I'm not gonna say that I'm not, but I just might. You know what I'm saying? So I respect and hat off to the ones who don't want to take it, whatever, that's you. But on my perspective, I just might. So I just want to say it's definitely a real thing out here, man. And you just got to stay safe and vigilant, and got to learn how to adapt to the newness around here, man. I mean, I'm not going to say that's never going to be the same as it used to. Probably not, because there's so much of a dent put into this to this world with this, that people are going to, you know, move different. But at the same time, we're still going to go ahead and make light out of the situation to the best of our ability. But health is first. So take this shit serious, people. Take it serious, because it is.
Good advice. Good advice. So before we get going, you've been in this game for almost 30 years. You're a legend in this game.
Thank you.
What's your highlight of your career?
My highlight, man. You know what, man? I'm gonna just say it like this, man. I've toured. I've done the do. I've been blessed to go around the world to meet amazing people. And my highlight, besides, you know, being able to rap on stage and this, that, and the third, which I feel, and I speak for almost all the artists out here who's made it. My highlight, man, is being able to be in a position to where I'm recognized for what I do. I'm recognized for being the lyricist that I am, because at the end of the day, that's what everybody wants to do. They just wants to be recognized for their craft. They want to be recognized and saluted for their craft. Singers, they want to be recognized and saluted for their craft. Artists that draw, whoever the case may be, want to be put in the position to where they are appreciated for their craft. And I can say that I'm in a position to where people appreciate my craft. I've enlightened people and inspired people to want to rap and do these type of things, which I'm very humbled to be able to do. So I think the highlight of my whole career is being able to inspire people to want to go ahead and do this music, and to inspire people to stick in there and give them hope. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people just, you know, don't be having hope, or be like, yo, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go or who to talk to or whatever. But when they see artists like myself and many other artists, it can get inspired to want to stick in it and do it. There is a lane for them. And I know there is a lane for them, man. So that's one of the biggest highlights, is being able to be in a position to make a difference, to keep people going in this rap game.
Sure. Always humble, Swifty. Always humble, but brilliant.
Thank you.
So where can your fans find you?
Y'all can find me on my Instagram is McVay D12. That is MCVAY D12. The Twitter is the same. If y'all want to holler at me on the Facebook, y'all go to Swifty D12. You know, all real pages, the real me. You know, I like to put memes up there and crack jokes. I'm just a silly dude. I'm a silly dude. You know, we gotta laugh to keep from crying out here in this world, man. So, yeah, you hang with me, you go definitely laugh. We go crack some jokes, and we go ahead and have a good time. because that's what it's all about. But yeah, y'all can find me on McVay D12 for the Instagram, McVay D12 for the Twitter, Swifty D12 for the Facebook. And if you want any of my merch or whatnot from the previous projects, what's up, Christian? Salute. You can go to SwiftyMcVayD12.com to grab any of the hard copies. You can also grab the autographed hard copies of whatever your request is from me, man. So holla at your boy.
Go and listen to his music. Go and listen to that D12. Go and listen to the Swifty McVay albums and mixtapes. And we're going to look forward to your new music coming this year.
Thank you, my brother. And let me go ahead and give a couple shout outs to these people out here who tuned in. What up, Alex? What up, though, Zoe? Josh? Yo, Pink, Deidre, what up, though? Love from Romania show. I love y'all. What up, though? Mark, Clarice, let's go. Devon, Riri, what up, Riri? I just want to say thank you to everybody who chimed in on here. You know, I appreciate y'all, and if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing, so I salute everybody, and I salute you too, brother, for having me. I appreciate you.